adding and subtracting problem solving. Today I want to give you some strategies to use when you read a word problem to figure out whether you're adding or subtracting, and when you do, what numbers you're going to use. A couple things that I'd like for you to remember. Addition is combining parts to make a whole, and subtracting is finding the missing part when you're given the total. If you can think of each set of these like blocks, and the total represents the set of parts. So each one of these represents a part, and together they make a whole. Sometimes our blocks look like this, separate parts for us to find the total. That would mean that the word problem would have a question mark here or here because we don't know the total. If we don't know the total, we're going to add. Subtraction is the missing part. When they tell us the total and we just have one of these parts missing. Or maybe I know this and so I need to figure out what this is. Let's look at some examples. Here are some different diagrams known as thinking blocks. I'm going to introduce you to a website at the end that I'd love for you to check out. It's also an app on an iPad or on your iPod. This represents the money I had. This is the cost or the price of something, and this is the change. And really all we're doing is thinking about where the question mark goes. If I told you how much money you had and how much it cost, you could find the change, which means you would have a question mark here, and sometimes it would look like this because this is the information I don't know. But what if I knew the change and I knew the cost, so then I could figure out the money I had in the beginning? So really we're going to practice reading a word problem, asking ourselves if we know the total or we know the part, and then figuring out where the question mark goes. This is a simple one that says she has this much and he has this much, and how much do they have all together? Or all together they have this much and she has this. How much does he have? So these can be turned into addition or subtraction problems. This is the days of the week, 6 of the days of the week with a total. So maybe you know the total, but you don't know what happened on Wednesday. Finding out what happened these other days would allow you to subtract to find out what happened on Wednesday. Or maybe you know what happened each day, and they want you to find the total. And then perimeter is something that we know. You add the sides to find the perimeter. Well, if you know the perimeter and are missing a side, these thinking blocks can help you solve those too. So we've got different diagrams here that we can solve, and now we're going to use them in solving 3 problems. Our first problem says Molly spent $14.50 on shoes. She had $9.50 left over. What did she start with, or what did she have to start with? The first thing we ask is, do we know the total or do we not know the total? Let's read it again and find out what we know. Well, we know she spent $14.50 on shoes and she had $9.50 left over. That means that I don't know the total because I don't know what she started with. So this box and this box are going to equal this one. This is $14.50 because that's what she spent. This is $9.50, which is her change. This is what I don't know. So I've asked myself, what do I not know? I don't know the total. I drew my blocks, I've put my question mark, and now it's time to solve. And simply by looking at these 2 blocks, I know that if I put them together, they're going to equal the total. And putting them together is adding. So $14.50 plus 950 is $24. This isn't a complete sentence. It can't be a complete sentence until it has a label. So, she had $24. This one is about Thomas. And Thomas must read a total of 120 minutes for AR. Monday through Friday, he read 95 minutes. How much must he read over the weekend? Do I know the total? Well, this word is a clue that I do know the total. So I'm going to draw my blocks, and in my total box, I'm going to write 120. This is what he must read. Monday through Friday is 95. What is this? This is the unknown. You don't have to make it a dotted line. Sometimes it's helpful. This is sometimes how you may see it. And so, if I have 120 is what I need, and I've already done 95, then I'm going to subtract to find the answer. This tells me that 120 minus 95 is 25. So my sentence would be, Thomas must read 25 minutes. Clara, Rachel, and Leah sold $175 worth of peanuts for the fundraiser. Rachel earned $57.50. Clara earned $35. How much did Leah earn? So I ask myself, the question is, how much did Leah earn? Is Leah the total that I'm looking for, or a part of the total? Because these three were included in the 175, that is my total. Because this story is about three girls, I'm going to use 3 blocks. Leah, Clara, Rachel. And the blocks are going to be what I know. Rachel earned $57.50. Clara earned $35. Leah has the question mark. But I know that all of them together were $175. So these two together plus this is going to equal 175. I must first put these two together. 35 plus 57.50 is 92.50. If these two together earned 92.50, how much was left for Leah to get from the 175? $175 minus 92.50. So Leah earned $62.50. Let's see if I can push this one without pushing it off the edge. Okay, I have 3 problems, 3 diagrams. I want you to push pause, solve for the question mark with either addition or subtraction, and then write a story with a question for each of these. Make sure you have them solved. Looking at this diagram, I know the total, and cm is centimeters, so something is 90 centimeters. You may say, my plant is 90 centimeters. It grew 75 centimeters last year. How tall was it before? You could say something is 90 centimeters, something else is 75. How much longer is 90 than 75? The answer is 15 centimeters. So, whatever your problem was about had to use centimeters because it's in the label, and your answer should have been 15. This problem should have said something about what Ann did and Joe did and Sam did. Maybe they each earned points. Ann earned 100 points, Joe earned 75, and Sam earned 50. And your question would say, how much did they earn in all? And so, 225, whatever your story was about. If it was about points, you'd have to have written points. If it was about money, you would have had to have written dollars or pennies or whatever it is you wrote your story about. And then this one is missing a part, which means you should have written a subtraction problem. This is what you need, or this is your total of what you have, and each of these have to add up to 28. So I may say, Monday I did 8 push-ups, Tuesday I did 9, Thursday I did 6, I did a total of 28. How many did I do on Wednesday? So I would have to do 8 plus 9 plus 6, which is 23. And then I would know that 23 is what this is together, so this must be 5 in order to make 28, because 28 minus 23 is 5. To get more practice with these types of word problems and problem solving in general, to get more familiar with the strategy that I'm going to require you use in class, go to www.thinkingblocks.com. If this website doesn't work for you, check it out on mathplayground.com. You can also check your Edline page for a link that I put there.